What's good? I am Yish. This is New Leafs on Life. So I just wanted to post after after posting the last video in regards to EMDR slash IFS therapy. I have had one attempted reprocessing session that evoked some deep suppressed emotions. I'm talking about, like, if I go further, the box would just be open. It started to come up, and it was strong enough for me to just say stop. I really wasn't prepared. It brought me to tears, and it wasn't even that detailed. It was more just a recognition of my suppressing of my past, and it speaks volumes to my current condition. And I apologize, it's overcast out here, so it's a little dark, but anyway, yeah, I couldn't even get through it. So we did some hand tappers and some audio, some audio bilateral stimulation is what it's called, where it's just sound that goes left and right in the ear, and or the hand tappers they're in sync with the audio, and it goes left and right, so it stimulates the right and the left brain. And while you are stimulated, you're encouraged to think of the bad thoughts that you are running away from to bring them out. And it can bring out memories that you may have forgotten simply because it's too painful to keep in your memory, to keep constantly thinking about it. And your body will protect you like it has with me. My body has literally shut down, like, the emotional engagement of all of that old stuff. But because of that, it has shut down a couple other things that I've spoke about many times on my channel. The happy feelings, the excited feelings, the passionate feelings, right? You know, being passionate about life and just feeling the perfume of life, man. Like, really just, like, you know how you can kind of just, you feel the moment, you're excited. I don't have those things because everything has been pushed down. It feels like if I do anything, and I'm speaking from an analytical standpoint, but it feels like if I do anything that is remotely exciting, or not exciting, but I'm getting off on a tangent here. Let me say this. I have a lot of resistance, so much so that when I try to be excited, try to be happy, it don't come out. Or I try to be angry and try to be mad, it don't come out, because my emotional system has been conditioned through my own will to not allow myself to be hurt. It's the best way I can put it. At any rate, even that particular reprocessing session showed that, because as it was coming up, the tears were coming out, but it was just pushing the door resistance. It wasn't busting it wide open. Excuse my phrase. But here's what happened. Even though I didn't do any actual reprocessing, just the fact that that came up and that small amount of release happened, I was able to get back in this space where I become aware of various feelings in the body, the negative, what I would like to call the uncomfortable negative feelings, and I'm able to step back as the true self, right? The spirit man on the inside, so to speak, not the ego self, not the mind self, because that's what's running that program. It's the mind, it's the conditioned mind. But the spirit self, I was able to step back and review what was going on in my body and ask, what is that? really, what is that? What's going on here? Like, why am I feeling all of this resistance when it's not necessary to feel all of this resistance? And in doing that, I'm able to detach from those things in a conscious manner. And when I do that, it disappears. And the space around me becomes lovely. It's not an emotional thing, but it's more of a safer feeling. It is a feeling of vulnerability. It's a feeling of being open to anything happening. And to combat that is to actually look at what's happening on an emotional level, on an internal dialogue level, and question it, separate it. Don't log in, don't attach to it. And just from that one session, I was able to do that. So I would imagine as I continue to go through these sessions, there will be a lot more healing involved. I imagine it to look a lot like the pure IFS session that I had, where my heart was beating in excitement and joy as I release some of these things, because essentially it's really the same thing. So EMDR deals with trauma. It reprocesses the trauma and puts a new story on it, in the same way that IFS goes in. You're thinking of the memory, the traumas, and you put a new spin on it. You be there for yourself. It's really the same thing. It's dealing with the same roots. And so tomorrow, the 26th of March, we do another session. Hopefully I can man up and deal with whatever uncomfortable emotional presence that comes up from my memories, and able to work through it during that session. We'll see. This is difficult at best. Everyone that I've come across, whether it's in Facebook groups or even looking at some of the videos on YouTube, has demonstrated that going through EMDR is tough, because you open up Pandora's box of the things that you have been suppressing. Excuse me. And you have to deal with them. They have to be dealt with. You have to parent yourself out of it as the grown self. You're not that kid anymore, so you have some skills and some capacity to deal with those emotions at a different playing field than you did when they occurred. As a child, you don't have the capacity to parent yourself because you know nothing of the such. At any rate, I'm gonna keep it short because it's starting to rain. Tomorrow, again, we start our, we continue rather, doing the reprocessing, and hopefully I'll have an update with some positive, even if it is that my emotions are just wide open and I'm having anxiety and panic attacks or whatever else may come. If it means that my emotional system is activated in a way that is a little overwhelming for me, that's good. I am Yish. You've been watching New Leafs on Life.